Hey everybody, welcome to the call this evening. It's 8 o'clock on the East Coast. This is Brian Anderson. I have Sid Michael with me, and we are going to do some objection role play, some sales strategy by popular request on this third call. Sid, are you here?
I'm always here, buddy.
Appreciate it. No, thanks, man. Let's see. Let's do a quick roll check. Get this thing rolling. And all right, guys, let us know if you can hear us, and where you're from, and we'll get it started. Hey, Annette. Seattle. I didn't know you were in Seattle. Very cool. Oh, yeah, we got Brooks out in Honolulu. The tough life. Let's see. Pennsylvania. Wow. Yes, it is, Ed. It'll be recorded if you need to leave. Oh, hey, Simon in England. Very cool. You guys, I want to give you some hope. I just did a call along with Sid with a gentleman in the group that he's in our automotive group. He's having some success with local lead driver. He's having some success with automotive. This is a little bit of a leap, but this guy just hit a $7,500 a month deal. So very excited for this person. And he's out on the West Coast in the U.S., and goes to show you there are some good things happening. We're getting a lot of good activity out of the members here. You probably see them in the Facebook group. But we also are getting requests to go through some of the objections and the stuff that we put in the actual course that we covered with slides and we went over. We thought we'd get a little interactive. I'd like to invite any of you that are on the call that have a mic and want to be part of the objection role play. By no means are we hard, but we like to keep it real, none of this fluff stuff. So if you are inclined to maybe jump on for 30 seconds and maybe ask a tough question, and we can help you role play through it, we will. If you don't, we'll go through the list we have. But I will. I am more than fine to make a couple of you live as part of this, and we can really really deliver what you're looking for. So let's see. Yeah, Ed, we do ask for that fee. I think that was Ed, or L, excuse me. The masterclass recording should be, Leanne, will you, they're in the members area, right? Craig's asking. Yeah, Craig, I'm pretty sure they're in the members area. You should be able to log in and see them. There's probably links to them in the Facebook group as well if you just want to quickly grab a link. So, all right, Sid, you ready? Let's do it, man.
Yeah, man. I'm always ready.
Okay, so in case you guys don't know, I know some of you we know really well, and some of you we don't know that well. And I'm in the middle. That's my name's Brian Anderson. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. We don't have Val with us tonight. She had a family member that passed away. She's going to be out of pocket a few days. And then Sid, you're on the left. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, man. I was on the call last night also, but I've got extensive automotive background. That's where Brian and I kind of got together on all this. But and I've spent my whole life being in sales, so that's where I can help out.
And a lot of you may know Sid or I, but I know there's always a few that don't. And just out of respect for you, we want to just give you a framework. My background is a little more technical and less sales, but I get my share of sales going on, so it's all good. Let's see. Val, and if you don't know, Val's background is on Wall Street. She was in mortgage banking back in the heyday, so before all the whole meltdown and that stuff happened. Let's see. So I guess the problem, Sid, is pretty obvious. Most of us are motivated. I think we're all properly motivated, especially there's about 50 odd of you on the call here tonight. And the challenge that we encounter is that you hit an objection or a roadblock or an issue, and it may be your objection or maybe the customer's, could even be your spouse's, and you got to figure out how to bounce off that objection and keep moving towards the sale. And at the end of the day, even all those of us that think we're technical guys, we're really in sales. And I know, Sid, you teach and preach this all the time, and it takes a long time for some of us to understand. You may be the best technical person out there, but you got to land a client. You either partner with somebody or you get it done yourself. So we wanna
Absolutely.
teach and talk to you tonight about just that.
Well, and I don't want, one thing that I notice a lot of people are overthinking as far as like what, what niche to go into. I'm going to go ahead and tell you: roofing, plumbing, dent removals, uh, any kind of contractor. It, every one of those work. And it just seems that anything that like is an emergency call, like even towing or plumbing, those tend to do really, really, really well because they're emergency calls and people are trying to save money or they don't have the money to spend whatever they think it will cost. So they tend to fire off at Craigslist really fast. If you have a scraper tool or any way to even just go on the internet and look at your local plumbers in your area, you need to start writing down their emails and start sending out emails tomorrow. You will start landing clients. You can see people in the group left and right that are sent out 10 emails. 10 emails is nothing. Sent out 10
Yeah,
emails and
it's
already landed
nothing.
a deal.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, you guys, and it's not just one person. We're getting a bunch of them, and we're going to highlight one or two people on a call. We're going to do some bonus calls. We said 4 classes, but we'll end up doing a heck of a lot more just because we enjoy interaction and meeting people.
And I don't mean to call out, but like, some people are asking about saturation. I won't say names, right? That's an excuse. You should be the first one. If it's saturated, you should be saturating it too. You know what I mean? Jump in. Don't worry about saturation. Yeah, it's funny. Everybody's, I do automotive a lot, right? So, people are like, oh, well, I ain't gonna go anywhere near Atlanta. Well, Atlanta's wide open. That's probably the best place in the country to go right now. Just because I live in Atlanta doesn't mean it's done and over. Don't psych yourself out. You're making excuses. You need to find some plumbers, find some roofers that work really well. Tomorrow, everybody should take action. Send out at least 10 to 20 emails on exactly what you can give them. And you can say the magic word: leads. Everybody needs them. So
Okay, so I want you guys. Michelle has volunteered to come on in a second, and I want you guys to put yourself, one or two others, to kind of get out of your comfort zone. We'll be very friendly. We're going to help you. It's going to be constructive, and I promise you, whether you come live or not, you're going to get a lot of value tonight. So, first one, Sid. Sid, I'm going to tell you, I'm just not interested in your service. I don't see a fit for me. I appreciate you calling, but thank you.
why is it that you're not interested in my service?
Oh, why am I not? Honestly, I've tried these kind of things before. It never worked for me, and I just don't want to waste my time and kind of spin in circles again. You know what I mean?
Well, what do you consider wasting your time? Because they were bad leads, or
Yeah,
because
I either got no leads one other time, and I paid a couple $100 up front, and then another time I did get a handful of leads, but they were just all bad. They were either short calls, they had nothing to do with what we did, or they were just horrible.
what if I gave you a win-win scenario where you got to actually try 4 or 5 of the leads before the billing started kicking in?
So what? You'd send me the leads, and I would only pay after, say, I got 4 leads. I'd pay the
Well,
5th lead.
right, something like that. So let me ask you something, Brian. How much do you make per sale?
It varies, Sid. I mean, we do on a repair job, average ticket around $250, $300. I have expenses out of that, labor and fuel. We mark up the part as well. On an installation, it could be 4,000 or 5,000 gross. We net about $1,500 to $1,800.
Okay. And how many of those are you doing a month right now?
We can always do more. We do a lot of repair work. We're about 80% repair, 20% install work.
Okay. And how much more repair and install do you want to do? How much more could you room to grow?
We've got room. I hadn't thought about that, to be truthful. I'd love to get some more higher end installs. If I could just sort of wave a wand, but I'd be happy with just more repair calls. We have days where I may only have 3 calls per technician, and I'd love to get that up 7 or 8 calls.
Well, it sounds to me that your installs where the big money's at. Is that correct?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it's in an ideal world we would do nothing but install work, but it doesn't work like that.
Well, how about that? I actually kind of run like a double deal for you, where I actually run a more heavy towards the install type leads for you, because it seems like those leads are going to be a little bit better paying for you, and then actually run a campaign also towards the repair order stuff. And in fact, because you make so much more money on the installs, maybe I could set it up to where you only pay one price for the repair orders, and then another price for the install leads.
Yeah, well, how would we know, Sid, if it was a repair or install lead? Are you going to track that for me?
Yeah, I can track that with a tracking number. In fact, I can even we can even have it whisper when it comes in. It'll tell you repair lead or install lead.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little further. So, boom.
Yep.
Nice. So, you guys. So what we did is, or Sid took me. What did he do? Anybody in the audience can tell what he did to me to kind of change the tone of the discussion? What did he do on the call that stopped me in my tracks and made me backpedal? Think about what he did. What was the very first thing he did? Yeah, risk reversal, David said. Trial offer. I'm going to go with what Brooks said. Brooks Bowman just said he asked a question. Yeah, Ron, same thing. You're right. He controlled the tempo with me. He took he took control from me and had me basically answering his questions instead of letting me do the same to him. And when he took control, the whole tone changed because he decided what to ask. And human nature is you want to be somewhat polite and answer the question, even if you're ticked off. So, Sid, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So take it away from them, and obviously before I would have got up to the point to where the guy would have told me, if you do a proper sales job, before you get to the point where they say they're not interested, you've already done enough research on his information that a lot of times I don't get that non-interested response because I've already kind of dissected him before you get there. But if that happens, then that means you missed somewhere in the deal. You missed building value over price to equal a sell. So sometimes you can say, oh, well, I'm sorry, hold on a second. Normally when I get to this point, people are ready to sign up and make sure they can get all the leads they can. Maybe I missed something. Let me go back over this again. Or, hey, I know I can understand you're a little reluctant. How about I show you give you 5 leads to try out, and then we go to a full bill. You give them some sort of inside incentive and takeaway. And really what I was going after by separating the leads was because I knew that his repair order leads would maybe be a $15 or $20 lead, but with an $1,800 ticket, I knew I could probably go in for 70 or $80 for that lead. So I was thinking to get more money, like a price bump out of that is where I was going.
Yep. Now, Sid, James just asked, how can you differentiate between a repair lead and an install lead? You have any thoughts? And I can tell you, you guys, I do the same way with my AC guys. It's a little bit of an honor system, and when you listen to the call, you can tell. But by start, you have a separate phone call for an ad biased towards install and one biased towards repair.
Right. You have one written.
But that doesn't always guarantee. There's a little bit of an honor system at play. And when you play the recordings and you're getting, like Sid said, triple on an install, it's pretty easy to say, I'm billing you for 6 install and 14 repair.
Yep.
So a little bit of Boy Scout kind of behavior, and you got to be very ethical about it, because if they call you out on it, now you could still lose. It could be a repair lead to go out there and it becomes an install, and you'll never know. And if it's somebody you build a relationship with, they'll tell you.
And to point something out, like car dealers, when we were posting ads and stuff like that. Oh, I don't need those leads. Nothing but bogues come in. All those people got bad credit. Well, great. Quit writing all credit accepted on your ads. Quit writing, 0 down, divorce, bad credit, okay, no problem, whatever, all that crap. If you want to get a better lead, write your copy better. You can always write the copy of the lead to focus and to attract what type of client you want. And if you don't want people with bad credit, put it on your advertisement. A good credit only with approved credit. You know what I mean? So copy's the content of the ad, what you would write in the ad, like how you would write the the article or the advertisement. That's called copy for those who are asking.
Okay, I like it. Let's see. And we'll come back to some of these in a minute, Annette and Ken. So let me go to the second one. So talking about price, Sid. Look, I like what you're hearing. I like how you do this. I appreciate it, but honestly, it just doesn't make sense. Your cost is just higher than I'm willing to pay. It's higher than what we pay now, and I don't know. I don't think it's for me.
What kind of cost were you thinking then?
What do you mean per lead?
Yeah, how much did you want to pay?
Yeah, I mean, I would have done 42 a lead, but 75 is it's just out of our ballpark. I don't care if you gave me cash buyers. I'd be reluctant to pay $75.
I got you. And then how much actual revenue do you actually net per sale?
Well, it varies, Sid. You know, like I said, on the install, it could be as little as 1,000 and as much as, you know, low twos, 2,200, 2,300.
Okay,
typically
so
$1,500 to $1,800.
And that's what you net after expense?
Yeah, that's what we net after expenses. Yep.
Okay, so to clarify, you just don't want to pay $75 to make $1,000. You need a bigger.
I know it sounds like that. It's just that, you know, we work with Home Advisor and others, and now I know there's shared leads, but we pay $4,250, and it's hard for me to wrap my head around paying an extra $30.
So if I go to work for you, give me a range of what you want to pay. You said you wanted to be around $42 to how much? Give me the range.
Range. You know, I'd like to be close to $42.
Okay. So if I can get you under $50, you do business?
And they'd be exclusive leads?
Exclusive leads.
Yeah. If you could get me under 50 for exclusive, I would try you out.
Okay. Now these aren't, you know, once again, these are exclusive. I'm not selling these out to 3 roofers and then whichever one of you compete against each other to get the lead better. You know, this is 100% yours, so you can make all the profit you want on these.
Yeah, no, I mean that's great. That's what really got me interested when I started talking with you, and I was with you until the price was just out of my comfort range, I guess.
Okay, well, let's do business.
Okay.
Or you say, listen, my ads, I know my leads are $75, but you know how many leads do you think you're going to need to get a month? I'll tell you what, buy 10 leads from me, the rest are free. Give me $750, buy 10 leads, and the rest are free. Just do a flat rate. Now, okay. Some people might see that as leaving money on the table, but in reality, you're building a customer for life. Because in business, a one-time sale of $750 or even a one-time sale of $1,500, you're not going to get rich. If you can get a guy to spend $750 a month for the next 18 or 24 months, that's how you build a business. Now you can outsource this stuff to Nick for $189, or you can do it yourself. If you get 10 of those clients and bring in $7,500 a month, that's not a bad job. Now I honestly don't look at it as you're leaving money on the table by not charging $75 per lead. I like the all-inclusive one month pricing plan personally. Now I know there is money out there, and there's certain scenarios where you shouldn't leave money on the table and should take it. But with him knowing that his leads are $75 and he gets 18 leads this month, and he only had to pay $750, what do you think? What do you think he's thinking? I bet he doesn't even call and complain because he's afraid you're going to wake up and realize what he's done.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I like it. Let's look and check on the Q&A and let's see if we get any comments on that. Yeah, now interesting. Annette agreed. James immediately came in with what Sid thought. He said if they learn to trust you, you can upsell other items later. James goes on to say maybe they need a mobile site, etc. See, Simon said, what happens if you're also planning to generate additional leads using PPC? So Simon, you may only want to do that if you were not doing the PPC route. You know, it's just one strategy for sure. Let's see. All right, who wanted to come on live? This is a good time to take, let's see. Yeah, thanks, Brooke. Brooke said that was awesome.
I want to go ahead and answer this question that Ginger just said. She said 18 installation leads. So would you consider a roofing an install, like to install a roof would be?
Well, I was talking, you know, my brother owns an AC company, so I was speaking about air conditioning leads. Yeah. I didn't clarify you guys at the beginning, but yeah, roofers have repairs or they have replacements.
Right. Well, just to give you an idea, my roofer here in Atlanta gets 4 to 6 calls a day.
Yeah, Ginger, when you said that, Ginger asks, are you saying that it is common for them to receive 18 install leads? It depends on market. I don't want to blanket say that. I think 75 to 100, 200 calls a month are very possible depending on the niche. You saw in some of the salesy stuff on the material we had to do on the sales side, we showed some examples with even 300 and 400. It varies by niche, by size of city, etc. So if they got 150 calls, is it possible that 18 of them were install? I think so. Yeah, and you did. So, yeah, Ginger. I mean, typically, Annette asks, you just send out Craigslist and Backpage ads, and they get 3 to 4 calls a day. Yep. Absolutely.
Exactly what you do.
You know, a lot of guys, I use guys collectively, a lot of people that are selling like solutions and strategies into our space, they like to complicate it because they feel like if it sounds complicated, it must be cool and it must work. I promise you, the old keep it simple, silly is true here too. This stuff works. If there's 100 million of people, I don't remember, what did Nick tell us today on the phone?
50 million.
50 million a day?
Yeah, 50 million hits on Craigslist.
Yeah, it's some obscene amount of traffic, right? So the traffic's a constant. It's a given. That's not our job. Craigslist drives it, right? And Backpage drives it. They just drive less. So all we're doing is tapping in to the existing traffic that has a need and putting various ads in front of them to evoke a response, a call or a form, right? That's it. There's nothing else. And there is no rocket science. Now, I agree with Simon, who chimed in a minute ago about we haven't talked to you guys about using other strategies, but this will get all of you clients and will make all of you money, guaranteed. But he's right. If you start layering in PPC, video, SEO, etc. as an advanced strategy down the road, then you really start to diversify what you're doing. So let's see. Sid, let's take, yeah, James, you're right. They go on Craigslist looking for a bargain. And when they see a deal and they see something that pushes their buttons, they're going to call. So Annette said yes, and I believe, who else did? Let me find it. Michelle, you said yes. Are one of you available now? And we'll bring you on and we'll do another one together. We'll keep it real. Instead of just Sid and I want you guys to be involved. We'll keep this very real. All right, Michelle, you were first. So I'm going to unmute you. Give me 1 second. Michelle, I see it. Hey, Michelle, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, welcome. Where are you from?
I'm from Santa Cruz, California.
Oh, beautiful.
A balmy 76 degrees today at the ocean.
You better watch out. These guys are going to be hating on you.
Now, Michelle, didn't you do some coaching for some people?
Yeah, I coach for Barry and Roger.
Yep.
That's right. I remember. Yes. I knew.
And I won your contest, and you all sent me a wonderful Kindle Fire, and I want to say thank you very much.
Oh, thanks, Michelle. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and I worked in the auto industry for 12 years as a business manager.
Oh,
very cool. What kind of deal? Were you new franchise or were you at Independence?
Lexus.
Very nice. I got 2 Lexus clients in Florida. I mean, what a pleasure to do business with. The whole operation is amazing.
Best car I've ever owned.
Yeah, so I was with a mega dealer, and I opened 22 Lexus dealerships in the state of California. I was a divisional controller or business manager in the business vernacular. So, yeah, and I come to you through Brian Mikowski.
Oh, good. Brian is a super guy. Matter of fact, he's in Sarasota, Florida, another guy that likes to rub it in because it's warm. And,
yeah.
Brian is if you guys don't know Brian, he's an ex-police officer. I met him a year or so ago at a marketing conference out in Las Vegas. We became friends, just nicest guy you ever meet. If you see him in the group, always always wanting to help out. He puts himself out there even when he doesn't know what to do. He is a solid, it's a hard-working guy.
Yeah, he is.
All right, well, why don't you tell us an objection or a challenge? Let's keep it away from automotive. Let's stick to something that maybe you're doing with local lead driver outside of automotive, if we could.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd like to go with the roofing niche, and I'll be the roofer then, I guess is what you're saying, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's make my phone ring.
All right. Hey, Michelle, how you doing? Sid Michael.
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Hey, I've got one word that I think is going to resonate with you, and just tell me if you have too many of them. Leads.
Yeah, I don't have too many of them, but I'm always very skeptical of people that call me up and say that they can generate leads for me.
And I totally understand that. I know that you don't know me from Adam, and I just cold called you, but I think if you see what I have and experience what I can provide, I think it might be worth you taking a look into. Are you selling all the roofs that you can handle right now?
Well, I can always do a little bit more, but I'll tell you what, I'm really pressed for time, so we really have to cut this short. I hate to be rude, but
it's okay. We can move really fast. Are you selling all, just let me ask a couple questions so I can better serve you. How many roofs a month are you selling right now?
I'm doing about 12.
How many months do you want to sell? Roofs do you want to sell a month?
Oh gosh, I'd like to double that.
Okay.
I'd really like to do a lot more.
What are you doing to currently get those 12 roofs?
Well, it's kind of referral, word of mouth, and I bought some leads before from some other lead generation companies, and just, doesn't work for me. Just paid a lot of money, didn't get the results, and just not happy with it. So I'm not really interested, to be frank with you, in what you have to offer.
No, and I understand that, and the good thing is the reason what's put me in business is that people are so unhappy with those people. That's what's kept me in business and why I've actually established myself. If I can get you some qualified leads, do you have the capability to close the deals?
I do.
Okay, and if I was able to get you 5 to 10 leads right now, how many do you think you could close?
I think I could probably, out of 10, I could probably close 2 to 3.
Okay, and are you averaging a net profit? Are you averaging over 12, 15, 1,800 a roof? How much are you averaging on net profit?
Yeah, I'd say easily. I would say probably 1,800 to 2,000 a roof.
Okay, so if you could spend a tenth of what you're going to bring in to hit your goal of doubling your roofs over the next month, would that make sense to you?
It would, but I have to be honest with you. I just don't know how you could possibly bring that high caliber of lead to me. How would you do that?
Well, I have a way to actually, I post leads over hundreds of web pages all over the internet, and I'm able to actually find the people that are in the market at the time for exactly what you need and for the exact product that you're selling.
Yeah, I've heard this before, but don't you think that most people that are on the internet are kind of tire kickers and bargain hunters and, just nickel and diming me to death? I just want to go out there, do a great job, and get paid a reasonable, price. I found with internet leads, they just tend to be a little less caliber than I'm looking for.
What other kind of leads would you want?
I would say referrals are really great, local leads, and I do a lot of networking, and referrals tend to be the best type of lead for me.
Okay, well, let's do this. I have a little bit of a different strategy. A lot of times I can advertise. Now, you said that referrals tend to work a little better than actual true leads, so all we have to do is actually work the way I write the leads or the way I write the ads are going to generate you those type of leads, and I have a way to get you referrals if you want. Here's what we're going to do. Instead of actually putting out ads for people that are looking to purchase a roof, we're going to hire college students that want to get paid $50 gigs. And what those college students are going to do is they're going to actually, if they bring us 3 of their family members or friends that want a roof, they get paid $50.
I see.
And then they're going to be referrals to you. See how that's a warmer lead for you?
Yeah, that sounds a little bit warmer. And would they be local college students in my neighborhood?
Absolutely. What's the closest college you got to you?
UCSC, University of California at Santa Cruz.
Okay, well, we'll advertise if you go to school at UCSC. We want to try and help you out. I'm looking for, part-time, college students that need to make part-time money. We're trying to hire just for easy gigs, cash and fist. Bring me three friends, relatives, or families that need a roof, and we'll pay you for your gig. And what that'll do is get you a little bit warmer lead for you.
Okay. Okay. And then how much would that cost me?
Well, right now the average roof lead is going for anywhere from $55 to $75.
Okay.
How many leads a month do you think you could handle?
Well, if I can close, say, 33%, and I got another, 10 to 20 leads a month, I'd be really happy. But you mentioned that we'd pay the students $50, and then is that $50 plus your $75, or how does that work?
No, I'll pay towards the students. I'll encompass that expenditure. I just want to tell you how I'm going to write the ad to get you the kind of leads that you need.
Oh, I see. Got it. Well, I'd like to try it, but I don't want to be bound to a contract. Can we be flexible?
I'm never contracted. I'm month to month. If I don't sell you roofs, you can fire me like anybody else.
Wow. Okay, that sounds like no risk, and you're ready to perform. That sounds very reasonable. Quite different from every other lead generation company that I've come in contact with. So I
understand.
I appreciate that. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Good stuff, you guys. Michelle, outstanding. And Sid, way to go. You guys both. I think that was very real of somebody that was putting you through their paces, and she did an excellent job.
Yeah.
So I would say that that fell under the apathy, kind of complacent. She's happy with what she's doing. She doesn't really feel like changing. She doesn't have a lot of faith that you can deliver, and I think she did a fabulous job. Hey, while we have Michelle on the phone, let's see. We got Brooks out in Hawaii and Honolulu said killer. Annette asked, Sid, so you would have only made $25 net a deal? And then Norm wants you to explain that college strategy if you could a little bit.
We had a guy that actually did this out in the Northwest. Instead of actually looking, advertising for hey, if you want to buy a roof, he advertised to college students because anybody's got 3 warm leads off of them. That's the whole MLM marketing philosophy. Everybody's supposed to have 2 to 4 warm leads that you can provide, right? So you offer these gigs to the college students. Hey, send me 4 of your closest, friends that need a roof, aunt, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, and I'll pay you $50, and it's part-time. So you can work when you want. You're not held to a schedule. You can work weekends or, evenings. You just got to bring me 4 leads a week, and it worked. It was $50 for 3 referrals, is what this gentleman did.
Nice.
Whatever the math is, and I'm just going off of what he did, whatever the math is, and I don't know what he sold them for, just make the math work. Whatever,
The point is the creativity to get around her referral-only comment, and that was really the takeaway. So when Sid got hit with the referral strategy, he immediately came back with one way that he can implement a referral-based ad. And I think that probably got her attention because he wasn't trying to feed what he wanted out of her. He was listening, and he was giving her what she was asking for. So it was really good. Michelle, I loved it. You were awesome. So let's see.
I honestly believe, and of course, I was in the car business, so I keep referring to cars, but I've sold things outside of the car business. But anytime you sit down with anybody, there's a deal there. If somebody doesn't buy from you when you sit down in front of them, it's because you didn't ask the right questions or find out the right information, period. Closers ask questions. They don't talk. It's not who talks the most or, persuades. A lot of people think that sales is talking the most, and it's not. It's listening to what the person has and then filling in the holes and scratching their itches. That's it.
Hey, Michelle, before we let you go, would you mind sharing what you're focused on and, kind of what your strategy is? You don't have to get too detailed, but maybe high level.
No, I don't mind sharing at all. Right now, I'm an accountant, so I'm really going after the tax preparer niche right now. And I'm thinking right now that, how we say you need to have 7 or 10 points of contact. I know it's very early in the year for people to start thinking about taxes, but I want to go out there and have them seeing that ad over and over and over. And I'm going actually after HVAC, plumbers, and I'm going after solar. I think solar in Santa Cruz, you know, we're all woo-woo, you know, conserve everything. And so I think solar panel installations will be very big in this area.
It's funny you
Now,
say that.
Santa Cruz, that's right outside of Silicon Valley. You guys are south a little bit, is that right?
Yeah, we're between San Francisco and Monterey on the coast. So yeah, we're a bedroom community to Silicon Valley, absolutely.
So you know how roofing is covered by insurance, right? That's
Right.
that's kind of what makes it really popular. So is the solar panels. There's certain like government deals where you can actually get that compensated and tax benefits and all kinds of stuff where it doesn't cost as much money.
And same with mold. We have a lot of mold here because we're in the redwoods, we're by the sea, so it's very moist. So that's another targeted niche that I'm going after as well.
I think the solar thing is going to be the next bubble. I think it's
Right.
going to catch on fire once everybody starts understanding it and positioning themselves for it.
And like you said, there's government subsidies with solar, so I think that that's a really good niche to go after.
Yep.
I like it. Okay, very cool. I appreciate you sharing, and very glad you came on. You did an outstanding job, and we really appreciate it. I know everybody loved it. You gave Sid, you put him through his paces. So for that, I thank you personally, Michelle. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm a tough customer.
I love it. Well, listen, if we can ever do anything, obviously reach out in the group, and I know we've touched base before, so I'm sure we'll chat again.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Michelle. Bye-bye. Awesome. Okay, that was super. I think she did a phenomenal job. She kind of, instead of letting us do it, she took care of this. Sid, anything else you want to add, and then we'll move on.
Nope. Nobody has questions. I'm ready to move forward.
Okay. Let's see now. Annette, I'm going to do another one, and I'll bring you on in a second, if that's okay. Annette Washington. So let's see. Sid, fear of change. So, okay, I'm going to be the, this isn't me, but I'm going to try to be this guy. Sid, I'm just not into that internet thing. We get our leads out of the phone book, and we do some postcards, and every now and then we do a little bit of radio. And, outside of that, I'm not into that other stuff. I know it's trendy, but it's just not for me.
No, I totally understand. And when we were talking before, you said that you're selling 12 roofs a month, and you're wanting to get to the 24 roofs. How important is that goal to you?
Oh, it's very important. It's a big financial difference for me, and it's a difference between a good year and a great year, honestly.
Okay, and who ultimately is responsible for selling more roofs here?
We've got 3 sales guys. Sometimes I'm on a sales call, but the sales guys are directly responsible for the sales.
Okay, and who do the sales guys work for?
You got me again. Well, they work for me, Sid.
Okay, all right. So ultimately, you're responsible for making sure that you get to those 24 roofs. Is that correct?
Sure, it's my business. Not only am I the general manager, but I own it. So yeah, at the end of the day, if I don't have the right people in place or make the right moves, it definitely falls on me.
Okay, and we got to take action in one way or the other. And what you've done in the past is only produced 12 roofs. Is that correct?
Yes, that's typically where we fall in.
Okay. I've went up and down this street, and I've talked to a lot of roofer clients this week. And a lot of them, man, I don't even know how they're in business, but when I talk to you, Brian, you seem to be pretty sharp. And when I think of anybody who's able, I would definitely think you're able.
Well, I appreciate that, Sid. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, let's move forward and do business. Let me show you what I can do for you. I know it makes you a little bit uncomfortable. I know it's different than what you've ever done before, but if it produces those extra 12 leads, and at the end of the month, you've got those 24 roofs that you're talking about, it's going to be a good feeling, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be. I'm just, like I said, I don't have anybody that, we barely do email, Sid. I mean, I have a web page, but a guy made it 7 years ago, and I don't know anything about it. So I don't know the first thing about this stuff you're talking to me about. While I want to sell more roofs, I can't help it all. This is just, I don't know anything about this.
Brian, are you comfortable answering your phone?
I can do that. We're good at that.
Well, that's all you got to do, because I handle everything else. It doesn't matter. Don't let it intimidate you about being on the internet and all that stuff, because I'm gonna white glove them right to you. All you got to know how to do is press that green button right there on your phone and answer it. If you can take them, if you can do your job from there, I'll get them to that phone. You can handle it from there.
Okay, I like it. Let's see if we get any comments on that. That was good. Because you'll get that one, you guys. You'll get that more often than you expect. I know that sounds a little hokey, but
I mean, the only thing you can do is just say, "I agree, no problem, don't worry about it," and you just try and reduce it to ridiculousness. Is the only action you can really take. And remember, win the argument, lose the deal, because it's it'd be kind of hard not to be like, "Well, come on, man," you know.
All right. So Annette, are you okay if I unmute you? Let me make sure before I do.
Yeah, she's ready.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Annette, give me 1 second. Okay, Annette, can you hear us okay?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound very clear. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. But I have, well, was I going to do the same thing that,
We can do anything that
No, we can do anything you want. You don't have to do the same
Because
role
I
play.
think
We can take a specific question or two. This
I
is
had the
about
same-
you. It's not about, you don't have to fit into any box here.
Okay. Oh, I had pretty much the same situation actually, and you pretty much answered the question with the contractor that I actually spoke with, and he said he'd been on Home Advisor for, twice, 2 times. They talked him into going back on it again, and he really hated it. He doesn't want to do anything like that again, but he wants me to go out and find business for him, and then he'll pay me a finder's fee. So that almost sounded like what Sid said with the college, correct? Is that?
Yeah.
Would that be the same?
Yep.
Same thing. So
Yeah,
now
but
I'm
it sounded like he was trying to put you into a sales position also, though. So
yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And
He
what
said
kind of contractor was he?
he does everything. I mean, he does roofing, construction, and he's a general contractor.
Okay.
And he has a company, that he has people under him who are working in partners with other companies.
If somebody talked me into actually, taking the whole deal all the way to like land, like bringing the business to him like that, I would negotiate a percentage of the gross profit of the deal.
Well, that's what he sounded like he was saying, but I think again, I think he was just trying to brush me off, which he did, but but because I didn't know how to answer. And so it's not so much that we haven't heard everything, or I haven't heard other things. It's I don't know how to answer.
Yeah.
So what that,
I mean,
that would be my confusion.
there's certain scenarios, Annette, that are just going to be that's the wrong guy. Next, you know what I mean? You got to always know when to say next.
That's the way I looked at it. Yeah, that's the way I looked at it. Yeah.
You just don't want him to slow you down. If the guy's just making it where it's just impossible to deal with, then there's just not a deal.
Yeah, and I knew him. I mean, we had met once before, and we talked about some other things, doing some other business with him. So, yeah, so he knew me already.
So sometimes if you repeat the scenario back to the person and let them hear what they're saying to themselves.
That's good.
Let me understand. You're trying to sell, additional roofs, and you want more business. And my expertise is bringing opportunities to you. So if I brought you those opportunities, you're telling me that you couldn't close the deals?
And that was the thing. He said he really had more business than he wanted right now.
Oh, okay. Well,
So that's where he started off.
You got any friends that are just starting out that don't have?
I did ask him that.
No.
I did ask him that, but I knew that he wasn't going to say it. He said, "Oh, well, if I find some, then I'll let you know." That's what he said. So I knew that was.
Yeah.
He's not going to, because what if it worked? He's not going to go and set someone else up for, But anyway, I would be happy to if you guys did the role play with me.
Okay.
Calling you.
Okay.
Would that be okay?
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Okay. Ring ring.
Hello.
Hi. Can you speak to Sid, please?
This is him.
Hi, Sid. I'm Annette Washington. I wanted to talk to you today about a great thing, leads. Do you have enough?
I could always use more.
You can always know. That's what I want to hear. So what are you doing now?
We're currently using a Home Advisor, and we have a
Home
call
Advisor.
center that's doing some cold calling. We got 2 girls that are setting appointments for my guys.
And how's that working out?
Seems to be doing pretty good. I don't really get back there much. As long as they're on the phone, I just make sure they're on the phone all the time. I don't know what they do. We got it. My wife kind of manages them.
Okay. So how many leads do you get from both processes?
Well, they're generally, I mean, the Home Advisors, we're getting 10 or 15 a month, and with the girls on the phone, they're booking a couple appointments a day for the guys.
A couple of appointments a day. Okay, so you're making ends meet?
Oh yeah, we've been in business
Yeah.
27 years.
So would you like to have 27 years? Wow, congratulations. Would you like more leads though?
I mean, what do you got?
hey, I've got a program here that'll get you more leads, and probably and definitely at a lower cost than Home Advisor.
Yeah, I'm only paying $15 at Home Advisor.
$15. Oh, okay. I can do it for $14.
If I did it for 14 today, would you do business?
Oh, absolutely. 14 a
Right.
lead? Absolutely.
I got you.
Can I sign you up?
Sure.
I know. I hated to go behind. I think I forgot her name because she really did a good job.
No, you did good too.
So,
You did good too. But remember, we're just role playing, so it's kind of
yes,
hard
I understand.
to pretend everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I got to know what kind of leads you're bringing me in, Ned. Just tell me more about what kind of leads are they, because I'm probably already getting these people that you're talking about.
Oh no, these are people that are looking for the service that you perform at the time that they need it. So we're not giving you a list of names to call that you can check and make sure that that they actually need something. These are people who actually need you. They will call you.
Yeah, but I've done this before. Y'all sell it to everybody up and down the street.
No, nope, 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 nope. This will be exclusive to you. So
So you'll give
the
me
only thing you have to
exclusive leads.
yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well,
All you have to do is answer the phone and make the sale. Do you think you can close maybe 10 or 15 extra sales per month?
yeah, but I'm not giving you any money until you give me some sales.
Oh, when they call, that's when you pay.
What,
You
so
don't.
so
So you don't.
you charge me up front, or how do you bill me?
I'm going to bill you weekly
Okay.
based on how many calls that you answered.
Okay. And I don't have to pay you until after I get them.
That's correct.
Okay.
So,
All right. I'll do it.
ready to sign? Okay.
Done. You boxed me in. You did good.
Okay.
So now, Annette, how long ago did you buy Local Lead Driver?
Maybe 5, 6 days.
What have you done in 5 or 6 days?
I've sent out 3, but they weren't for roofing. They were for weaves and braids because in
That's
this
fine.
area where
There's
I
money in
live,
that. There's money
there's
in
not a
that.
lot. Well, there's not a lot of places to get. Of course, I'm African American, black. There's not a lot of
Everybody's
people to get
weaving
your
their hair
hair
over
done.
here in Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one, and then the other one is the CPAs, like the other young lady. But I
Even the
sent out
white girls are weaving their hair out here.
this is true. They're here too. This is true. But
Yeah.
when I got here, I found it hard. Well, not that I have weaves or anything, but I found it hard to find somewhere to do my hair anyway. So that I know that's a commodity here for.
I couldn't believe the price point on some of that stuff.
Yes, that's what I looked at too. I looked it up on the Search Tempest and the.
I mean, there's definitely
Craigslist.
5 and 6, $800 weave jobs.
Absolutely, that sit there
Yep.
for hours doing that stuff. Oh no,
That's
no.
crazy.
Anyway,
Well,
yeah. So I did 3 of those, and then 3 of the other ones, both on Craigslist and Backpage. And I got 2 calls on the hair ones, and I haven't got anything on the CPAs yet.
okay. What kind of ads are you doing for CPA? Like a tax time?
Yep, the tax time one. I put it in the Facebook on the Facebook ad. I got some feedback on it.
Okay.
In the Facebook page, the group, the Facebook, the Leads master class.
Yep.
But I also use Lee Kahuna. So I've sent out probably a couple hundred email already. Oh, actually, yeah, about 150
Thanks. Okay.
emails out. And that was just like the day before yesterday. I haven't got anything back yet. So.
Okay. Make sure you try a couple different titles. You know what I mean? Like subject lines.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I have a hard drive full of subject lines and a software. Anyway.
Nice. Okay. Well, good job, Annette.
Thank you.
And where were you from again? What part of the country?
Seattle.
Seattle. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's just about as far away from us as you can be.
Yeah, but I used to live in Atlanta. I had my first restaurant. I'm from the food business. But that's the other question I was going to ask you. 37 years in the food business. I mean, I've owned 9 restaurants. One of them, the first one, was in Decatur.
That's where I was born.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Northside Hospital in Decatur.
Oh yeah. I was there in the 90s. It was Derek's Delivers in the bottom of it used to be Fidelity Bank building in Decatur. Yeah, I had the bottom floor of that restaurant. I had it there. But anyway.
Very nice.
Of course, restaurants wouldn't work with this because they don't get enough. I don't know how to do that with them. But unless they do catering. Now, if they cater, I believe I can turn that into a. What do you think about that?
Yeah, catering, but I don't know that. Let's see. Well, you could put catering on Craigslist. I just don't know how much. Catering. leads. I mean, catering business is tough. It's very, very, very lucrative though, but it's just hard to get to actually drum up
The drum up some
catering.
business for
But
them.
yeah, you could try it. I mean, I'm sure you could put on there maybe events, put under events or parties, birthday parties. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's okay. I'll do something that works. You know, I just
Yeah.
have to say goodbye to my third. I already did anyway. I changed over my hobby, which is internet marketing,
Okay.
just a couple years ago. So anyway,
Nice.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No, Annette, thank you. Very good.
Thanks, Brian.
You got it. Let's see. I'm going to mute Annette. So let's see. All right, Annette, you're muted. And guys, let's see. Sid, we talked about this a little bit, but you know, I'm interested in what you're selling. Sid, this makes a lot of sense. You seem like a pretty good guy. We've just been burned by a few other lead providers. What about references? What can you give me to help kind of get over this? I'm really worried that I'm going to get burned again.
I'm going to give you something better than a reference, Brian. I'm going to show you an actual call report of another client. How about that? So instead of the client saying that it was good, I'm going to show you exactly how good it was.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that is a perfect comeback when somebody wants a reference. We did it in automotive. We both have done it in the field with a couple dozen not franchise, but independent dealerships, which are used car dealerships, guys. Works like a charm. You have to establish trust. If for some reason there's a misgiving or there's an issue, then you got to get past it. And a lot of times, the last thing they want is to talk to your friend or your buddy. They'd love to see proof.
And we can take a couple and put them in the group. Don't you think, Brian?
I think so. Yep.
For the master class, we'll give them out. We'll just blur out the impertinent information.
Yep. I'm down with that. Let's see. All right. Yeah, Michelle had a great one. Michelle just said, Sid, I'm going to do something better than give you a reference. I'm going to give you 5 to 10 free leads to start.
Okay.
Nice. Very good.
Any sort of incentive.
Let's see. And okay. Yeah, and Ginger said that'd be awesome. Yeah, we will, Ginger. That piece of cake. I just need to make sure we do that. Let's see. All right. All right, Sid, you know, I like it. I need to run this by my manager or, you know, my boss or my wife, my partner, whoever. I need to get approval before I get started. Why don't you give me a call back day after tomorrow?
Who is it you need to get approval from?
My partner, it's my wife, honestly, Sid.
Okay. All right. Well, when are you going to be able to speak with her?
Oh, I'll talk to her about it tonight.
Okay. Great. Well, then what I'll do is I'll leave this here, and I'm going to call you tomorrow morning at about 8:30. Is that good for you?
No, 8:30. Actually, I'm tied up in the morning. How about 9:30, 9:45?
Okay. I'll call you at 9:30 tomorrow morning, and we'll do business. When somebody says they got somebody, you kind of like, once again, it's in the interview, you find out if you should pitch before you got a one-legger is what they call that. Now, there is one thing that you can say that I did one time that worked, but there's no telling how many people I PO'd in the car business. I told a guy one time as he was leaving me on a Corvette, now it really was the last 1994, I'm aging myself here, the last 1994 $27,950 Corvette left, which was a base model Corvette, right? And it was red with black, which was pretty popular. They taught us back then to say, listen, do me a favor. When you ask your wife to get permission, I'll call mine and see if I can have permission to sell it to you. Now, oh, that was the old days, man. And I honestly don't think I would say that unless I was joking or being funny and had that kind of relationship with somebody. But what do you got to lose if somebody's blowing you out of there? You know, the older mentality was buy or die. You know, you got nothing if you walk out right now anyway because you're down the street. But so you just went for it. But if somebody says they got to ask their wife, you know, those of you that have had a wife and know, you got to kind of respect that, you know, because they got to live with her, right? That's the whole reason why I've always wanted a wife, so I could have an excuse too. Anybody else knows anything that's or here's the phone, let's call her now, right? That's
Yeah. Yeah, and
You know,
that,
you
that,
can
that
say,
works.
listen, I'm not going to be back in your area, and once I sell these leads, it is exclusive to this market. You know, is there any way you can call it right now, and I'll let you have some private time? But I hate to leave here because it never fails. I'll leave here and sell the next person I talk to because I got another appointment, you know, at 4. It never fails. I'll leave here and sell them, and then, you know, you'll lose out on it. You know, you could say, hey, the leads you're thinking about today were the same leads the guy yesterday were thinking about that decided to do business today.
But the other thing you did, Sid, on that was positive is I tried to put you off a couple days, and you zoned in on a time tomorrow morning to nail this down.
Yep. Anytime you're leaving, you're always setting up the second appointment. No matter what, whether you're leaving with a contract or if you're leaving them for a deal, even if you're just stopping by and saying, hey, buddy, how you doing? Rock and rolling? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't need your service. Great. Hey, I'm going to follow up with you in 2 more weeks just to make sure because I'm sure you might need leads by then. You know what I mean? I always, every time, set up the second thing. And Rick, you just said something that's true too. You can always say, you know, listen, I know you got to talk to your wife, but let's be honest. What's holding you back from doing business? Find the true objection. You know, you give me one reason why you wouldn't buy right now, other than you got to talk to your wife. Nothing. I got to talk to my wife. Okay, well then it's legitimately his wife. But sometimes you can get them to say what it really is. I don't like the way you look. You're ugly. Well, I don't know.
Oh, I love. Did you see Alejandro? If your wife gives you the okay, I'm going to send her a half-a-day spa on me. That's brilliant. As a wife that you know, my wife loves the spa stuff. Pretty smart, man. You make that guy look like a hero. And then a lot of times he'll pull the trigger to try you out just for the free spa. I'm going to try that.
Yep.
Love it.
No, that was brilliant.
Yeah, that was really good. All right, let's see. All right, now some people have a wife and some people can't afford it, Sid. I just don't have the money for this. I don't know how to make it work.
What do you mean when you say that you can't afford it? You can't afford it because you can't put the money up front to then make money off the leads in the back end? You just don't have the money up front, or you can't afford it because you can't afford to pay 10% of your gross profits towards a lead service?
Oh, it's a good question. Yeah, you know, honestly, I can't afford to pay for it right now. If I had the new deals and had the money, I'd be able to pay you.
Okay. Well, if we set up a trial basis where, you know, we gave you leads up front and then you could pay on the back end, that's all it's between you doing business and not?
That would go a long way. That would help me. I just don't have the cash flow today to write a check for, you know, 10 leads or something.
I personally would have no problem with giving the guy the leads and letting him pay me on the back end. You know, obviously you want to try and get paid on the front end if and at all possible, but I personally wouldn't have a problem with that. Now, not everybody could do that. You know, some people maybe wouldn't be willing to do that. So you would, you know, try and just make it to where it was a short-term, shorter term, you know, to lower your risk. So go to the weekly billing.
Don't go a month, you guys. Go a week or something.
Go a week. Say, all right, cool. The first week of leads is on me.
I like it. Let's look at some of the feedback on that right now, Sid.
And I always let them know, say, listen, I'm always one to over-deliver, so I'm going to do something for you that I haven't done for anybody. I'm going to give you the first week on me. That way we can get you ramped up and rocking, and then we ain't got to worry about it anymore. The first week's free on me, but then after that, I need you to pay me, you know, $150 a week or whatever you sold it for.
Nice. Let's see. Find the true objection. Yep, good. Alejandro has said, I always believe in the following. So let's get the following. And let's see. Okay. So, Alejandro, I'll read that when you put that one in. And, yeah, I mean, another good one. You'd be surprised how many people don't really understand you're not asking them to pay you today or to pay up front. And it's really a cash flow issue. And you have to handle it without hurting their ego. You got to handle it in a way that you let them feel like they're on top of the world without insulting them in any way.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times you can just agree with them, go, Man, I know. Cash has been tight for everybody lately. You know, put yourself in the same boat as them.
Yeah, 100%. I want your business because I want you to succeed, and that way I succeed as well. No, very nice. Very nice. Okay, we took a few of the objections. We spent an hour going through. We had 2 of you come on. I'd love to have one more person before we end the call tonight who's open to doing a little role play or maybe sharing a success or even a failure that you're having right now. Maybe we can work with you. So if somebody has a mic and they want to come on, awesome. And if not, that's okay. We'll wrap it up in just a second. Let's see what we got, Sid. You know, while I'm waiting on the flood of people to beat my door down on that question, earlier Norm asked, Sid, when we were talking, you were talking to somebody, and I think it was when you and Michelle were chatting, and I think you said hundreds of web pages. Remember that?
Yep.
I think it was with Michelle. So you guys, what he said very carefully was web pages. And so if he creates ads that are on hundreds of web pages, right? Think about the language. He didn't say websites. He said web pages. So if he runs your ad twice a day on two different directories, that's 4 times a day. I mean, you're already over 100 that way over the course of a month. The keyword is actual pages, not sites. So it's semantics. That's all.
It's called verbal judo.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
See, if you didn't know it, now you do. Sid's like Bruce Lee with the words.
More like Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris, all right.
Chalky and white and pasty.
Yeah. All right, I'm taking
Norm. Hold on, Norm wants to get in.
Yep, we're gonna end with Norm. Norm's super guy. Hang on, Norm, one sec. Hey, Norm, can you hear us?
Hey, boys, how are you?
Good, man. Thanks for coming on. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. This is always good stuff. Always willing to learn.
You know what's funny, Norm? When I worked for JM&A, a JM family, and you know, I honestly perfected my craft where I thought I was almost near perfect, right? And they would put a video camera and record us as we presented, and man, did we sound like idiots. I mean, just having the camera on you made you a little worse, just that sight of it. But I couldn't, you know, last night, nobody knows, but I must have said 90,000 times on that video camera.
I know. It's so funny because we're all kind of guilty of it, and I pay real close attention to it, not only when I am pitching and selling, but I also am very acute to it when I hear other people, and I think I commented just to remind, because it just slows down the whole process of the flow when you're saying between every other word. It's hard. I get it. You know, it's hard. It's hard to stop.
It's nuts, but it's just that when people are nervous, that's kind of the go-to thing to say.
Yeah. So what do you want to do?
You tell me, man. So how long ago did you buy the product?
I bought it, I think, a day or two after you launched.
Okay.
And I just got my second client this week.
Nice.
And I have 2 homes. I commute between Palm Springs and Orange County, so I'm kind of toggling between that market.
Okay.
But you know, I had I had some success, obviously, in the dealership market, just walking in, and that was for dealers and such. But now this is a little different playing field, and I started cold calling. And I started with an email campaign, and then I followed it up with a cold call, which gave me the mechanism or the reason to make the call. And the 2 that I got were primarily from that. I did have one gentleman today I spoke with, and you know, he was clearly in the midst of probably a project or working, you know, on site, and he was a painting contractor. And he said, you know, I'm just really not interested, and he abruptly cut me off real short. And then I said, you know, I tried to loop him back in by saying, well, is there a better time I could, you know, call you back at and such, and he just hung up on me. And I think the first gal that was on this call tonight, Michelle, I think was her name, up in Santa Cruz. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. She really gave a good example of how cold and aloof some of these people can be, because they are getting hit a lot and they are getting pitched a lot. And everything you covered tonight, Sid, and your responses were just excellent first and foremost. I guess what I'm trying to get my hand around is, or my head around is, when you get someone like that that's cool and aloof, I've always found that, you know, if I try to get another time where I can call them back is always advantageous as a follow-up. But how are you handling, you know, some of these people that have been barraged by, you know, all these other lead generation companies, or may have had the bad experience with one company, or even the home advisors, and they're just so reluctant to try something new? And I know you touched on that earlier, but let me
I found when people are reluctant is because they're reluctant because, you know, they've been beat up or they've been called 100 million times, and the quickest way to make somebody not like be in defense to you is to build rapport with them, right? So you want to put yourself on their level. So you got, when somebody says, listen, man, I just don't have time to say, you got to go, I understand, no problem. I know this happens a lot. I know you're a busy guy. I'm not here to ever bring you any sort of, you know, discomfort. I'm here to only bring you great opportunities, and I've had very good success in the past with it. When would be a better time to talk to you? You know what I mean? But you want to immediately say you understand. Don't worry about it. It's okay. No, absolutely. No, go ahead. Sell a car. Car takes precedence over everything. Do your deal. I'll come back and see you. Don't worry about it. Hey, I'm going to grab a bite to eat. You want me to bring you back a sandwich? You know what I mean? Honestly, because what are you doing? You set up the second appointment every time. You go from your sales job goes from selling them your product to selling that second meeting. And if you sell the second meeting, you got to sell. That's as good as selling a deal. You know, it's just your objective changed.
Okay, gotcha. Good stuff. Closers ask questions. Love that. You know, I think I took some notes tonight in just identifying some of the questions that you are asking in the tone of that conversation. What is the average client worth to you? What is the revenue per sale? You know, I'm finding that getting them to talk more about their business and just sitting back and letting them share seems to build rapport much easier.
Yep, and it gives you a chance for your, you know, everybody goes in wound up as tight as a rubber band. It gives you a chance to get settled too. But yeah, if you ask the proper and correct questions, they're going to have to contradict themselves when you go in for the close. If you can, you know, how many hard cars are you selling, or how many units are you selling, or how many trinkets are you selling, how many trinkets do you want to sell? So you do want to sell more? Everybody's going to say yes, right? So when you say, okay, well, I've got opportunity right now for you to sell more, you know, gremlins, and what I got is I can bring you leads for gremlins. Well, are they going to say, nah, we just don't really want to do that? Well, you just told me you want to sell more gremlins, and I'm giving you the opportunity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do.
That's the purpose of a good interview. But always be compassionate on what they're saying. You know what I mean? So say, so I can better serve you. Can I ask you a couple personal questions about your business?
So I can better serve you. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think that's what I just wanted to kind of chat with you guys about tonight. And you know, every time I get on these coaching calls, these webinars, I'm always picking up nuggets nonstop. You guys are great. I can't say enough about you, and to the rest of the people that are listening. I think Brian knows I've bought just about every product these guys have put out, and I've had some success with all of them. So.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Norm. We obviously we know each other, and it's nice to hear. And you know what's interesting is so many people, and I get a lot of emails, and unlike some people, I actually read every email, and I write back, or I hand it over to somebody in support to write them or to help. All of this is very attainable, but it's not just going to happen. You have to get out there. You have to put yourself typically outside of your comfort zone, and you got to get out there. And once you actually commit to doing that, it really does happen. It really does work. It's not that hard. I'm not Sid, you guys, by any means. Anybody can do it. You got to just have the initiative.
You know, another thought too is that I've made some friends with some people already in the Facebook groups, and you know, I cannot tell you that aside from the content that's shared in not only the 1% group, but also the content that's shared in this masterclass group, and then finding someone that you can share ideas with, exchange information with, hey, what are you doing, what's working, And, you know, I always try to target someone that's perhaps out of my market, so I'm not necessarily competing with them in my market, but I cannot emphasize how invaluable that is. You know, I've learned so much from, I mean, a week ago, I didn't really understand the whole process of how proxies were being used, and now I do. You know, and now I understand that, you know, posting in my local market, there's some things I don't need to do versus what I do need to do.
Yep.
And, you know, some of the people in the group were very instrumental in helping me with that. And, of course, you got to thank Nick. I mean, Nick has been making himself available, and he's so responsive and so cooperative. So thanks,
Yeah,
Nick.
you know what? He's a great guy. I mean, that guy is an example of somebody that he works, I don't know, Sid, how many hours a day. That guy's like, he's online more than Sid and I, like 18 hours a day. I don't know what he's doing. My phone and my Facebook and my email, he hits me on 3 devices with this or that nonstop.
Well, he's the number one employer in his neighborhood now.
Yeah, I bet he is. I bet he is. So
he's got a couple kids that are in high school or whatever, and he's got this one kid, Mike, that was like really shy. Kid's like coming out of his shell being around Nick every day. You know. You guys are off self-confidence, but now he's, you know, it's funny. He's like, he's really, it's funny to see the kid. He's doing good. I like it.
Cool, cool.
Listen, yeah, Norm, thank you very much. We appreciate your time tonight on the call. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me, and have a safe trip on your cruise, boys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Norm.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't mean to, Norm, if I cut you off at the end, I didn't mean to. Yeah, guys, we are doing another call tomorrow. Sid, do you know what time it is? Is it, what time the call is tomorrow?
I know we got a 2, 3, 4. I got 11, 2, 3, and 4.
I think it's at 2 o'clock, you guys. I think it's at 2 o'clock. Just check. You'll get a reminder, and we will kind of dig into that. We'll look at some pricing tomorrow, and we'll see where it goes. Any last questions before we end tonight? And we will see you tomorrow. We wanted to get a lot of content in before we do leave on our trip. Sid and I are doing a kind of a networking marketer cruise next week. And we wanted to get a lot of value in before that. And then we're going to come back. We have one more call officially after the trip, but technically tomorrow is the 4th. We're gonna have some guest speakers. I had my brother agree to come on, and he's a little bit gruff. You want to hear objections, you got to listen to this guy. And he'll talk about his experience with Home Advisor, what he likes and doesn't like, and what he responds to, and what kind of calls drive him nuts. And you can grill him as hard as you want. You'll see very quickly that he doesn't pull any punches, and he's very direct. And then we got a surprise call after that I think you guys will enjoy. So Sid, let me see what else we have, and then we'll wrap this up. Yes, Beamal, there will be a replay. This is being recorded, and it is what am I saying? It's being put in the members area. Yeah, we'll definitely be online a little bit, but it's quite pricey, and not even the cost of the internet on these ships. It's so slow, it makes dial-up in 95 look fast. Tomorrow should be 2 o'clock. If it says 8 o'clock, I'm going to change it, because by no means are we doing a Friday night call at 8 o'clock tomorrow. So
I think it's at 3 off.
It's Friday tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's, yeah, it's Friday.
Yeah. I can look it up real quick just so we know. It's pretty important here. You got the different go-to webinar. Okay. Tomorrow you got 8 to. No, we're on that one. All right. So tomorrow it's 11 to 12. What is that? No, that's yours, Brian. Hold on.
Oh, do I have a call? Thanks, dude.
No, meets 4 times. Let's see what it is here. Tomorrow is at 2 o'clock.
Okay, good. Yeah, Rod just said 2 o'clock. So 2 o'clock Eastern. We'll talk some pricing, and let's talk about money. Everybody's favorite subject. So, yeah, thanks, Larry. Yep, 2 to 3:30 tomorrow. We may end tomorrow's in 60 minutes rather than 90. We'll just sort of play it by ear depending on how the call goes. But with that, I think we'll wrap it up. Sid, I had a good time tonight. I appreciate it, you guys, and we'll get this in the members area. Leanne recorded it, and for those of you listening to the recording, we welcome you to attend, one of the next calls live, and we'll over-deliver. We'll go beyond what was promised, and you'll get a bunch of extra calls, and we'll do some strategy and some hangouts and some. Maybe we can get Sid's roofer is a pretty good guy to have on a call. He's a character. We can get him on the call, and we'll do a few things like that just to help you. And if you have some requests for some things that would be useful, let us know, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
Thanks again, and you know what, you guys, just as a quick reminder, get in the Facebook group. We like to throw some bonuses and stuff in there. Thank you, Annette, and you guys try to be active. You will get so much support and help. By no means do we know everything. You heard Michelle knock it out of the park. Same thing as Annette and Norm. Get in the group. You will pick up so many nuggets that are way beyond anything we could have ever created ourselves from other members and from Nick. So have a great night, and Sid, talk to you soon.
Yeah, man. Rock and roll, buddy. See you. See you, everybody.